Hello and welcome to Barclaysmen, the podcast that remembers the kits, the chaos and the cult heroes. From the baggy kits to Bafétimbi Gomis's Black Panther, we bring this golden era of football back to life. I'm your host, Jack Tapp, and today I'm joined by Tom and Dylan. Before we get started, boys, I want to know your football first. So Football First is the opening segment of the podcast where we find out about our guests' first game, their first shirt and their first favourite player. So let's start with you, Tom.
So first game, it was 2008, which was at Old Trafford, United Sunderland, one of the worst games of football that I've ever seen in my life. It was a last-minute Nemanja Vidic winner. Michael Carrick had a shot, went off the post, and then Vidic, for some reason, was just lurking and tapped in. So that was my first exposure to Old Trafford, and that was back in the glory days.
Sounds like a classic Fergie sort of scrappy win there.
Oh, honestly, like Fergie time completely, but just in terms of how the crowd went mental after it and everything, there was a lot. It wasn't like booing up until then, but it was pretty tense. I mean, Sunderland are okay now, but they were shocking back in the day. So we should have smashed them. But yeah, first shirt was I think it was also 2008. But I'm not 100% sure on that one. It was United shirt. It was long sleeve for some reason. I remember it being very tight and it had Nani on the back.
Oh, that's cool.
Number 17.
That's cool.
So
I always liked long shirts.
Yeah, I don't know. It was. I didn't really appreciate the kind of value in those days in terms of like if you get a properly nice shirt and then you hang on to it for a while, you can just sell it on for so much these days. But
vintage, mate.
Yeah, honestly, like there's whole businesses that make absolute bank just doing
classic
that.
Football shirts.
Yeah. I get
one.
pushed it on Instagram all the time, all these different companies and that. But that was class. That was a proper nice shirt.
What was your first favourite player too?
First favourite player, Paul Scholes.
Paul Scholes.
Because he was small, asthmatic little ginger guy.
Doesn't look like a footballer.
No, exactly. Like I was also small and asthmatic, but not ginger at that point. Yeah. So I could kind of
Were you ever ginger?
I mean, I was lighter than this, but
Not as good as football either, I'd imagine.
No, nowhere near. But honestly, like some of the stuff he would do, the way people talk about him these days as well. Like I don't know if you've seen other footballers talk about Paul Scholes. Like even Henry and that saying the only thing we concentrated on pre-game was just stopping Scholes.
He was the best of the best, wasn't
he was unreal.
Dylan, first game, first shirt, first favourite player.
My first game was, now this is a bit more boring than Tom's, I would say, was a FA Cup or EFL Cup match, Newport County versus MK Dons in what would have been probably 2016 or 2017, yeah. But to be fair, it set me on a long road of supporting the county, getting down the county, which is pretty unfortunate at the minute. Seems a little bit rock bottom of the entire EFL. Not doing too good, but
I saw the FA Cup highlights on the weekend.
Well, there wasn't many highlights for County. 3-0 versus Bournemouth, not the best result. It was on BBC Two. Switched it on for 10 minutes, conceded 2 goals. Ross snooker instead or something. Watch everyone. Wasn't watching that, but that's pretty my first game, I think.
What was your first shirt?
First shirt, I do know my first shirt actually. When I was probably between 1 and 2, my mum and dad went to Barcelona, and they were going around the new camp, and they went in the shop, and I've got a little tiny Barcelona kit with Patrick Kluivert on the back, I think.
Nice.
That's really
Patrick
cool.
Kluivert, and he was actually there in the stadium when my mum and dad were walking about.
Yeah.
He was doing, I think he was coming back from injury or something, and he was on the pitch doing sort of drills and exercise and stuff, getting back to full fitness.
Wow.
So it's a pretty cool thing to say.
You still got it?
Yeah, somewhere. I'd
cool.
have to dig it out, but I do still have it.
First favourite player?
First favourite player.
Assuming
wow.
it'd be a county player.
Yeah. I mean, Mark O'Brien is almost my county hero. He saved us really when we were on the brink of going down a few years ago. He scored a 90th minute winner to keep us up and relegate. What's his name? Jeff Stelling's team. Hartlepool, yeah. Do you remember you might know the footage
I've seen
on Soccer
Saturday
when we scored, his face dropped because it meant obviously Hartlepool were going down.
Yeah.
I say he's my local hero, but I think more fashionable. I think I used to love Robin van Persie when he came to United. I think 2012-13 when he came, he just changed that team and he pushed us over the line. Well, he carried us over the line, I would say. Really, he was just unbelievable. And that goal against Villa, that volley.
Yeah, that was like last game of the season
Yeah,
as well. That's
yeah.
and he scored a hat trick by half time or something.
Yeah,
Like, it was
unbelievable player.
Yeah.
He's the first player I really just started like just to fall in love with the game.
Yeah.
I think just when I sort of I've got memories before that, but he was the one that made me just think, wow, it's just unbelievable, you know.
I will add that he was the first player I had on the shirt. So I agree with you. He probably was my first favourite player, but that quickly went away. So the first segment is about a proper Barclaysman, Demba Ba. He arrived at Newcastle like a storm no one bothered to predict, and then suddenly couldn't ignore. After an unassuming stint at West Ham, he lit up Tyneside and made the Geordies dream. A striker who shrugged off defenders, smashed in goals, and carried a team's belief on his back. He formed an iconic partnership with Senegal teammate Papi Cissé in 2012, and the rest was history. And then came Chelsea, the stage where he delivered moments that will live forever. That one swing of a boot that shattered Liverpool's title dreams and echoed through Premier League history. Demba Ba's story in England wasn't about luck. He made his mark and left the league a true Barclaysman. What are your memories of Demba Ba, boys? You start, Tom.
Yeah. I mean, I remember playing Football Manager during that era, and it was Alan Pardew's team, and he got them like very, very close to Champions League, I think.
A proper Barclays manager, might they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it was Cisse, it was Bar, like Johan Cabaye, Colaccini,
what happened to Johan Cabaye? He went to PSG and then
Palace.
Yeah, he went to Palace.
Yeah. Again under Pardew, I think. Yeah.
Obviously, he had a special relationship with Alan Pardew.
Yeah. I mean, I love how some players just bring in one player every time.
Yeah.
Like Harry Redknapp would bring in
Nico Crankshaw.
Yes, exactly. Wherever he went.
The definition of a Barclays.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that was such a good side. Like they didn't play like incredible football. Like it was almost like Pardew said, well, just get the ball to him or Cisse, and then we'll see what happens from there. And somehow it worked. Like,
he was only there for 18 months, and to leave that much of a mark on a club, like they love him. Yeah,
they do. He's cult hero, isn't he?
Yeah.
I saw he only got like 22 caps for Senegal as well. And you're like, who was starting in front of him at that point?
He played alongside Cisse for Senegal too. So I guess
surely you just put those two up front as well.
You got to put them two together.
Yeah.
They played together at club level, and they got that sort of partnership.
But when you look at Senegal, and especially when you look at them now, they've got such a good squad, but you wouldn't even really realise. But they've got players from all over Europe, just in the top 5 leagues. But players that you wouldn't even necessarily even if you haven't heard of them, they're still quality players. But
well, they were missing a lot of them earlier on, like this year, and they still beat England.
Yeah, exactly.
Friendly,
yeah.
so
they battered them.
Yeah, exactly.
It was
it's good to see like more like Africa being more competitive at these
This
tournaments.
era was Ivory Coast. I remember Ivory Coast in this era where it was you had the Toures, you had Drogba, Tiote, like there were unbelievable side, like fully Premier League side pretty much. And again, I don't think they won like an AFCON, or they won one maybe. But again, Football Manager, I love playing with them. Like so many top players.
Adding on that, it'd be interesting to see now in January AFCON starting, isn't it? Senegal, they've got one of the strongest teams, probably the strongest team in Africa. Actually,
is Mane still playing for them as well?
I think so. Yeah, he's obviously playing
around Jai.
He's doing well in the Premier League at the minute, isn't he? And they've just got a strong side, and they probably are favourites for AFCON, I would say. They are a great team.
Let's go back to Demba Ba. So, got a goal every 160 minutes in the Premier League for someone who sort of come into the league with no expectation whatsoever. Like, it's a goal every sort of game and a bit. Like, it's proper Barclaysman numbers, that.
Yeah. So I was just about to say that is the definition of a Barclaysman, just sort of someone that you've never heard of him. Probably when he come to the league, no one probably heard of Demba Ba.
Yeah.
But then he just tore up a storm. He was just scoring, and he wasn't scoring great goals, but he was a proper poacher, and he knew where the back of the net was. Yeah. And like you say, a goal in every 160 minutes is the seriously impressive stats for the top flight of football.
Yeah. I watched his goal cut
him as well. Like he was just they were absolutely terrified.
Yeah.
Like him and Cisse, like there were again interviews at the time where people were just saying like we don't want to get anywhere near him.
You watch his goal catalogue, he was so good at just cutting across the defender, taking a touch, just first time finish, just very instinctive player.
100%.
Yeah. So before we move on, I thought it was very important to add this about Demba Ba. He actually loved strawberry syrup. You boys ever tried strawberry syrup? I believe it's the syrup that you mix with like water, very popular in France.
I've never seen that before in my life.
Yeah,
but that man absolutely loves it, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a famous interview clip. I can't remember who the journalist was that asked him. But
it's Clive Tilsley.
Was it Clive Tilsley?
I think it's Clive Tilsley.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
pretty
roll
sure
the
it
clip.
is.
But yeah, bizarre. Like, yeah, this guy, man.
I love syrup.
Syrup?
Yeah.
Unbelievable player and special affiliation with syrup. Surprised he didn't get a brand deal with.
But you've got to be a little
Tessier.
bit weird to be like a top level footballer, I reckon. Like you
Yeah.
look at
I agree.
like, some of the other players who are incredible. I know De Bruyne and Haaland spring to mind. You think, I know they've got some weird things going on. Syrup's probably pretty mild, I'd say.
Yeah, no, for sure, for
I
sure.
agree.
There are Premier League clashes, and then there are moments that feel like football folklore. October 2004, at Old Trafford, Arsenal arrived unbeaten in 49 league games. A run so legendary it felt untouchable. Manchester United knew exactly what was at stake. Tackers flew, tempers boiled, and when United snatched the win, the air didn't cool, it ignited. Post-match, the tunnel erupted into chaos. A slice of pizza arced through the air like a dart and hit Sir Alex Ferguson. No cameras, no footage, just whispers. It wasn't until years later that we learned the culprit, a young Cesc Fabregas. A moment so strange it earned a name of its own, the Battle of the Buffet. So I'm going to start here.
Yep.
Arguably one of the most controversial games in Premier League history. I know this is a classic Arsenal fan sort of
Yeah,
opinion to
yeah,
throw
yeah.
out here, but I was watching the game back this morning. Some of the fouls that weren't given and the penalty that was
Yeah.
given to Rooney, I don't think that would be given now with VAR.
I know. Well, I know Van Nistelrooy got banned for 3 games afterwards for a tackle that was missed during the game as well.
Oh, was that on Ashley Cole?
Yeah, exactly. So, like you're saying, so, like some of the tackles that went in were just horrific. I mean, they were crimes basically. But
And,
that just goes to show like the level of intensity during the game as well. I mean, both teams genuinely hated each other as well, which made
Absolutely.
it great to watch.
Yeah, United had that period of dominance and they were just knocked off that perch for a few years by Arsenal. And this actually sort of sent Arsenal's downward spiral. So they failed to win 4 of their next 5 games after this. So this clearly had rattled them quite a lot. So yeah, I'd say really a defining moment in that era. So and then Jose Mourinho sort of took off with Chelsea from there. So
So if you just look at the photo of there, you can see the animosity in Rooney's eyes.
I mean,
Like-
Rooney would take anyone on at that point.
No,
but
yeah, he was just an animal.
Yeah, it was.
Rooney is just. I mean, you can call him a Barclaysmen, but I wouldn't call him that because his longevity was,
Yeah.
But from such a young age, from 16, 17, to be as good as he was, I know people say, well, he dropped off really dropped off at maybe 32, 33, but people forget how good he was at 16, 17, 18.
Yeah.
So everyone has a peak, and most people's peak, tend to be 27, 28, 29.
Yeah.
His was 20.
Yeah.
But it's just the frame of him. He was an adult as a young lad when he was.
There was some story about when he was 14, like doing a pre-season friendly for Everton.
Yeah.
And like just bullying people basically.
Yeah.
People thought he'd get beaten up, but defenders would just bounce off him at that point. But the whole team was like that. It was all just, even in the tunnel beforehand and everything,
Yeah.
like they genuinely wanted to get into each other. Rooney talked about sharpening his studs, I think, before a
That was
Chelsea
that was
game.
John Terry, wasn't it?
Yeah,
he went
exactly.
for a big tackling, didn't he?
Yeah. And these were like England teammates as well. So
that's
it's
probably why we didn't win anything.
yeah, exactly. I mean,
But it does boil
Next
back to
level.
that though. When all these England legends, Gerrard, Lampard, Rooney, Beckham, they all speak about it. It's called this golden generation. They always say that they should have won, but they didn't because the chemistry for England wasn't there
Yeah.
because they were so passionate about their club careers and winning for their club that they couldn't just flip a switch and go on England duty and perform like they can now. So you see the England squad now. They're all best mates. They're all really close and they're tight knit, and that's why they've got to 2 Euro finals in a row.
Yeah.
And
Well,
obviously a World Cup looming now. They've got to be one of the favourites to go far because they're a tight knit bunch as well as they've got the quality of these lads have. They definitely do.
Yeah, well, there's just more players from different teams in these days, I think, as
Yeah.
well. Like there's players from Forest, Palace,
Yeah.
Whereas before it was just
purely
Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool,
Absolutely.
United,
Well, I
and
think-
they all hated each other.
I think that's because the teams now in the Premier League, especially, it's just such good quality. Like
Yeah.
they look at United, for example. I don't actually think United are that bad. I just think all the other teams are really good.
Yeah.
Like these other teams, the Villas, the Forest last season, Crystal Palace now, they're so good that they're making the big dogs like Chelsea, United, not so much Arsenal, City sometimes, Liverpool now.
Yeah.
It's making them look worse, but because these teams are just so good, that's what I think.
No, that's it. I mean, in this era, it was, United, Arsenal, Chelsea, a couple of other teams.
The gap was so much bigger.
Yeah, this is
between
it.
The top sides,
And
I'd say.
They'd be expected to win every other game, basically. It was like La Liga is these days. You have a couple of teams and then a big gap to everything else. Whereas these days, like you're saying, like every team can beat anyone.
Yeah. Rooney's a lot like Scholes, actually. Just doesn't look like a footballer.
No,
At all. Like, how is he such an
He really
unbelievable
doesn't.
player? Yeah.
No, it's mad. And I remember I don't remember this game, but I remember the final, the FA Cup final this season as well. Because
United dominated that, didn't they?
Yeah, and
Arsenal
won
on
on penalties.
pens.
Yeah, that was genuinely heartbreaking. I remember watching that at a mate's house, and as one of the first football memories, it was not a good one.
Slightly payback for this game, I'd say.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the thing. Like United, I know we're just so focused on ending that Invincibles run, and like Ferguson talked about it a lot afterwards as well in terms of like the motivation for it. So just the intensity, the animosity, it was different level.
We'll touch on the tunnel incident. So the culprit, Cesc Fabregas, he was obviously he hadn't quite broken into the Arsenal team then, played a few sort of cup games. I think it was sort of later down the line this season after, where he started to break into the team. And he revealed on League of Their Own that, he had thrown the pizza after years of sort of confusion, like who was the one who'd done it. And I think he said in another interview that he sort of did it just to find some way to get involved, to get his name known, which is interesting. Could you imagine, like, I don't know, let's think, for example, like, I was going to say Lewis Skelly, but he's pretty established now. It's like an
Rio
academy
Ugamoa
player
or something.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Just
like,
launches pizza.
In a massive game, it's like, how can I get my name in the headlines here?
Yeah.
Mental moment.
Yeah.
Proper
Where was the buffet? This is the thing I don't understand. Was the buffet like in the tunnel or was it
because there's no cameras. It's all just like, where did he find this pizza from?
I don't know. Like, was it in the changing rooms? And then he like took a pizza out of the changing room and then just started like flinging slices around.
He was
Fergie of all people.
He was obviously a man on a mission, wasn't he? He was like, down the tunnel, get me something to throw at these lads, get on the pizza. And hits everyone, but you just don't want to hit Fergie, do you?
Yeah. The way he describes it as well, like arcing through the air and then like slapping Fergie on the head.
But if Fergie did know it was him, he'd probably be dead, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think Fergie probably would have strangled him to death, I think.
Scary bloke.
What was a pizza doing there? Because obviously this was 20 years ago, different era for football, but you wouldn't have a pizza in a football team dressing room now.
No, particularly if you lost the game as well.
Yeah.
for Arsenal, like I don't understand. Like, was it for the staff or something down there? And he just
He probably nicked it off a fan in the stand.
It's whatever he could find.
Yeah, it was the first thing he saw. Pizza, bosh. Yeah.
There was something special about the Premier League in the back end of the 2000s, a stretch of time where Adidas kits felt like they ruled the league. Clean lines, bold colours, and the unmistakable three stripes running down the sleeves. Liverpool walked out in that deep, commanding red, Carlsberg across the chest like a badge of tradition. Gerrard, Torres and Kaut all charging forward with that sponsor that had become a part of the club's identity. Pure Adidas. Down in London, Chelsea carved out a dynasty of their own. Royal blue, sharp collars and a Samsung glinting across the chest. Lampard long shots, Drogba headers and Mourinho's swagger, the Adidas Cup made them look like a machine. Those kits weren't loud, they didn't need to be. They were a staple of the Barclays era. Boys, what kits stood out for you in that sort of era? Start with you, Tom.
Yeah, this was back in the day, but I really like the Fulham one with LG on it.
Nice, yeah.
Which, like that to me says the Europa League run that they had, which was Danny Murphy
Zamora
popping up,
front.
scoring goals for fun. And yeah, that was just really clean, like black and white and everything. That was class. There was also a Reading one, which I liked with like Kyocera or something across the middle. That was probably good. I saw a Reading game. I saw Reading Arsenal at one point.
Wasn't the 7-5?
It wasn't the 7-5. No. No, I think Arsenal won like 4-0, but it was like fairly close to where I was growing up. And it was like Santi Cazorla taking corners with both feet. And all
is that the one where he got a hat trick?
Yeah. He
Yeah.
was just like different
Yeah.
level. But there were so many class kits from that period. Like,
Yeah.
it just looked so good for no apparent reason. Like, I don't know if we've lost that art now, or if it's just we don't appreciate it as much.
I was saying to you earlier when you were saying you had a long sleeve shirt. I love that. Like, look at the Adidas bit going just past the Champions
It's the three
League
stripes,
logo,
isn't it?
The
Yeah.
3 stripes. Like, players don't wear long sleeve shirts anymore. They wear the undershirt.
Yeah,
Like,
I was going to say long sleeve shirts are a dying art.
Yeah.
I think. But also, I think, like, I look at these shirts now, and obviously they're nice and they're very nice. But there is a big element, I think, of nostalgia because there are some really nice kits out at the moment, but sort of there's not that nostalgic element about it, if you will.
Yeah.
So you don't really think about it in that sort of category. But give it 10, 15, 20 years, we'll be looking back on the kits we got now and think,
Yeah.
blimey, there are
Yeah.
some good ones, because there are some good ones.
absolutely. I just think simpler the better sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking that Liverpool shirt this season, like, very similar to that one on the right, but yeah, people love it. I think it's just because it's got that simplicity and
Because I think it looks odd though with where the Adidas badge would traditionally be. There looks like there's something missing there.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Because
I
it's
like it. It's something a
centralised
bit
and not on
different.
the
Yeah,
left,
it's
isn't
like
it?
it's
Yeah.
wonky. So it's centralised here, but then obviously the badge here. There's something missing for me. I just
Well,
I'm not
what kit would you say stands out for you from that sort of era?
the kit that comes to my mind is really the United kit with Aeon written on it, and I just think Rooney.
Yeah.
That is just
Michael
Rooney
Carrick
in
for
it.
me. Yeah.
Is that
It's-
sort of 10, 11 sort of
Yeah,
era?
it's giving
Yeah.
the Rooney bicycle.
Rooney
kick.
bicycle kick, yeah.
The outswinger from Nani, the deflection, the bicy, and the
Yeah.
celebration in the corner. That's just
I'd say that's the defining goal of that sort of era.
yeah.
Like, that
it's
is
that.
the standout
It's
one.
unbelievable.
You think the Super Sunday intro and that Rooney,
Yeah.
the Martin Tyler commentary, like
Yeah.
Back in the day, I used to wake up at like 7:30 to go and watch Match of the Day in the morning as well. Like,
That's another thing. Like, Match of the Day, like, I just don't watch it anymore.
No.
Like,
I know.
it's the Sky Sports highlights on YouTube that have slightly taken away from
I
that.
think that's
would
changed
say.
it.
easier for you. Really.
Yeah.
social media as well.
Yeah, short attention spans, but
Yeah. But that Chelsea kit, that I see that and I see Drogba like screaming at a referee after the Barcelona
Yes.
The Barcelona.
game.
Yes.
Yeah. in the
And he's
Chelsea
like,
game. Yeah, exactly.
That's
Him
the
and
camera,
Ballack just having a massive
it was
go.
atrocious though, wasn't it? But it's like it was after that game, like it was investigated, wasn't it? And Barca were quite dodgy. Like
Oh yeah, they've done. strange
they
things.
have been found guilty of doing some very dodgy things to do with the referees.
Yeah.
So that game would not surprise me if something dodgy was going on because,
Yeah.
well, I mean, it was atrocious, wasn't it? Some of the
yeah.
things, some of the fouls that Barca got away with, some of the things that happened, it's just.
But it
was
was
not
all,
okay.
all the time in this era as well. Like you had Juventus being relegated
Relegated, yeah.
for match
The
fixing.
United
Yeah.
Arsenal game, like I said.
I don't know about that one.
Let
but
me
yeah.
perfectly on to that. Yeah.
Sorry, I just look at Drogba there and I think that's the Champions League final.
Yeah.
08.
yeah.
Obviously, I know they lost, but that is just so Champions League final to me, obviously, against United.
Yeah.
John Terry on the floor, on his bum, crying.
Yeah, I
That
think
was Moscow, wasn't it?
Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
one of the iconic Champions League finals. And English teams did really well to get to finals around that sort of period. 'Cause I think Liverpool got to a few. They obviously won in
Yeah.
Istanbul.
And
A
I
couple
think
years later, they lost to
to
Milan.
AC Milan again, yeah.
When
Yeah.
was Arsenal's one? That was around this time as well.
2006.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
in
we go.
Paris against
Yeah.
Barca.
Should have won. but they
Yeah,
didn't.
Yeah.
should have won.
Should've-
Yeah, it was Lehman
Belletti
sending
scored,
off.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Belletti had a shot from like an impossible angle.
Yeah.
Almunia punched it into his own net,
Yeah.
really. Yeah, shocking keeping. But yeah, so that must have been sort of a 4 or 5 year run of English teams getting to Champions League finals. So it's
But-
more what we used to see now. So
Chelsea, it was the era really of Chelsea and United, wasn't it? So going head to head, the Mourinho era as well. I just how many goals did they concede with Terry and Carvalho? 15. Yeah, it's
Over a
unbelievable.
season, over 38 games.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
The only thing I've seen sort of remotely close to that was Burnley in the Championship last season. They conceded maybe I think a few more than that. Obviously, like,
Yeah.
they play more games.
Yeah.
But it was still something stupid. But
Yeah.
I don't think that's a record that will ever be beaten. I just think mainly because of how attacking Premier League football is now. Like there's a lot of goals sort of being scored, so it's really. Even like with a defence like Arsenal, I mean, at the start of the season, I
there
think
was a conversation.
they were
but-
on.
Yeah.
If they kept up their current trajectory, I think they would have been on track to break that record. But
I think we're on like 9 or
yeah,
something now, so it's not
and,
happening.
and that's
Unlucky with Gabriel being injured. Though.
Yeah.
But I think this Arsenal defence is one of the best we've seen in a very, very long time.
Yeah.
But even they cannot come close to that record.
Yeah.
But
I
that's the
think
thing, yeah.
I think teams are a lot less reluctant to play for draws now too. I'm thinking the Arsenal Villa game on the weekend. I know it's two teams at the top of the table, but neither side
They went for it.
They both were just going for it, and maybe there was more of a culture of trying to get results and stuff away from home. Like,
I just think Arsenal are pretty guilty of that. How many draws was it? 13 or so was it in the Invincible season?
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, that's what I mean. Different era.
But again, like you look at these players, these both strikers and everything. But I think in that era as well, defenders were absolutely up there in terms of being like star players of the team as well. I mean, you look at Chelsea. We talked about Terry and Carvalho. I mean, Liverpool, you had Carragher, Agger and Skirtle were class for a few seasons. United, I mean, Vidic and Ferdinand were unbelievable for such a long period as well.
Yeah, so, not as many defenders now would fall in that conversation of Premier League greats as we had back then. You got Virgil van Dijk.
Van Dijk is the only one I can kind of think of.
Diaz has had his moments. I don't know if you consider him a great.
Yeah,
I think Gabriel if Arsenal win the league this season, I think Gabriel could go down. It's with the goals he scores as well, though. He scores some really important goals, obviously with his head from corners, the set piece merchants. But he does get on the score sheet a lot. He's like a 5-6 goal a season player, which is impressive for a centre half. So
he's in my fancy team. So,
yeah.
You still got him, even though he's
injured.
I
sell him.
I changed him out now, but he was in there. Yeah,
I was going to say, you must be bottom of your league.
I am. Yeah.
Oh right, okay. So it doesn't matter anyway. Cool. So thank you for watching Ep 1 of the Barclaysmen podcast. Thank you for Tom and Dylan for joining us. I think we had a great conversation there, very much like a post sort of match day pub trip.
Yeah.
So we talked about Denver Bar, his iconic partnership with Papi Cisse, the Battle of the Buffet, found out the culprit was a young Cesc Fabregas, and we talked a bit about our favourite kits from the era. Make sure to like, follow and subscribe to all our social media channels, and we'll see you next time on the Barclaysmen podcast. Cheers.